By way of introduction, my name is Dilip Nath. I came here at a tender age of 16 and really had no idea about the healthcare or the future of myself, right? Didn't even know what I will be doing here in this country, coming here at an early age. Didn't speak a single word of English, let alone working in the healthcare. I had no idea. Obviously, through the much of the struggle, I gone through the education, put myself into the schools and colleges, working all the odd job that you can think that exists in this country. And after my graduation, I worked briefly in a private sector, and then moved into the public sector, where end up being an academic medical center. Didn't start out quite exactly in IT. I was working for finance, hospital finance, working for a CFO. It was quite exciting and enjoying dealing with the number. It was kind of fascinating. And then soon, after I had end up working for CEO of a hospital. That's exactly when I think I was begin to learn or exposed into healthcare, if you will, right? And my journey into IT really began with first implementing a revenue cycle of the hospital. And then, one thing led to another, but never really had any intention or even working for IT, although I went for management information system in my undergraduate, and of course MBA and other degree later on. I never really had committed to or planned to work in healthcare. It just naturally happened one after the other. And it's been great. I've been in the healthcare industry over 27 plus years. I'm in a various role in technology management. And as I, continue to grow within the healthcare, I think this is one of the great things that I have done, choosing working for a healthcare system where I can contribute in many ways towards, making the better society, helping, improving the flows in healthcare equity and others through the technology. So this is great. So again, my journey into healthcare was never planned. It was sort of naturally happened. From one thing led to the other, and I end up being in healthcare. So that's really in a quick and nutshell how I became today who I am in healthcare. For generation, we have been talking in this country and actually throughout the world, closing the healthcare equity, closing the healthcare gap. But it has not really, happened in a way that is needed to happen. It's still much of our population are especially underprivileged and rural. They are, they don't have access to the healthcare that they deserve. Especially during the COVID, this city, in fact, throughout the world, exposed some of the deadliest flaws in our healthcare. And we have a responsibility and obligation to close that gap as we building the digital health, digital healthcare delivery through technology. And that means leadership in technology, those who are involved, like me, we have a added responsibility to make sure we're building an inclusive and equitable digital product that makes it easier to access the healthcare for those who need it the most. Especially as we talk about the digital front door, and even using the AI. All of these, as we're building this new digital front door, we need to be absolutely certain that we are not building the healthcare for elite only. We are building a healthcare that is easily accessible, and hopefully, through the technology, we can close the healthcare equity that exists for generation. And quite frankly, and to do that, we have not really talked enough of the technology justice. Without a technology justice, you cannot close the healthcare equity gap, and that's very simple. In fact, I have written 2 books on this. One is Delivering Equitable Healthcare Through Technology, and my second book was Technology Justice. And I have written those 2 books because I found it's very important that leadership needs to understand the basic foundation building block when it comes to the healthcare delivery. It is simply not you introduce or you deploy all of the digital solution and only serving a certain segment of the population. And if that's what we are doing, we are disservicing the society, disservicing our community. And we have witnessed it, like I said, during the COVID. So we cannot have the same repeat. And this is our moment in life that we can change that. We can turn this around by doing the right thing, designing the technology and solution, with, keep in mind the population that we want to serve. Because, especially, the borough that I live in, actually in a borough where more than 51% population that born outside of America. It's a very diverse borough. And if you just take that an example and just go around in urban and rural America, that's what you see. There's a lot of diverse group of people, and that is the beauty of America. That is the beauty of our society, and we need to make sure that we include all of these diversity so that we can make it a richer society and eventually close the healthcare equity that exists in this country and then throughout the world. So keeping those in mind, especially those are in the leadership position, has a added responsibility to particularly pay attention to this. I think there are a lot of misconceptions about diversity, inclusion. Often people, look at it as a stigma in a society. Oftentimes people think that you have the diversity and inclusion to help on a certain population, but that's not true. We have a stigma or certain preconceived notion that we put in certain job only can do by certain people, or certain job is not fit by doing certain gender or race. For example, in technology, if you will, like networking and other, you will ask, generally those jobs is probably not best fit for the woman. That is preconceived notion that we have for longest, but we were able to change this. I can tell you, when I had recruited a first help desk manager as a female, people thought I was crazy. This is a job that women can do. Can they really push the computer on the hallway of the computer, printer and things like that? But we have because we have this misconcept, like as a notion that for longest time it existed. But as the leader, we have to make those changes. And I think by and large, there is a lot of has been done, but there are more to be done. So that we, by only having a diverse team, by only having a team that is sensitive to all of these, then only you can bring a stronger team. It's not helping a certain group of people. There is no job is only specific for specific people or a specific gender. There's nothing that no one can do if we create the right environment and right opportunity for people. And we just have to continue build on to that what we have done so far. There are a lot more can be done to embrace the diverse group and to build a real resilient team by having a diverse group in a project, in a solution or the product that you are building, then you actually getting the brilliant idea that works towards a single or common goal that can help our society to make it even better society. First of all, thank you for taking time to talking to me today. This has been an incredible journey. In our lifetime, we have seen so many changes, particularly if you look at in the last 3 decades. We have seen the personal, changes in the personal computer. When we had the personal computer, we were excited, right? It wasn't change in our society. Then we have seen when internet was introduced to in our society, that was a big revolution, literally, right? And then of course the introduction or introducing of the smartphone, where world is literally came onto our palm, right? Where access can be literally done from a simple smartphone. And then now the next big changes that we are seeing is the fourth industrial revolution that I call with the artificial intelligence. And AI is here to really stay and make changes, disrupt our society, disrupt the way of life. But it's really incumbent upon us, to design the next digital health, next piece of technology that can better meet the society's need. And also we have to decide what really works best and what doesn't work, and really use the designing or building a next solution with ethically and also morally, and also most importantly keeping the people that we want to serve. Diversity and inclusion should be the centerpiece of it as we building the next generation of solution with using AI.